mama, oh, yeah. Mama, oh, mama, oh. Mama, oh, mama, yeah, yeah. Mama, oh, mama,
Can you remember when a story was told to you, especially folk tales? Did it relate to an event? Was it true? Was it fiction? Did it entertain you? If we think of human history, stories originated from Africa with the use of symbols known as artifacts. They were spread around the world through the role of a storyteller. I'm with Oporut Charles Kwasu, a storyteller from Cameroon in Africa, reside in UK. He's going to tell me some about his storytelling role and also the artifacts that's involved with the storytelling. I'll ask him a few questions. Thank you for joining me.
It's my pleasure.
And coming to all this journey to London. Why storytelling is more important? Storytelling is important, and also the artifacts.
Well, it is a story is the thread that holds things together. So a man without history, without story, is just a shadow. And that's why you see one of the main features of all the things that the black people, Africa, have been through in history. One of the main characteristics of the process of slavery, of colonization, is narration, is stories, is what is told. So the very first thing to conquer a man is to make sure you tell them they don't exist. If you have no story, you don't exist. If you have no history, you don't exist. So existence starts with a story. And now the narration is important because if people make you believe that you're not worthy of anything, they can easily make you become that nothing that you believe you are. They can easily use you. They can easily enslave you. So it is very important that not just the black people, everybody, every human being understands that keeping other people's story alive is giving them room to exist. And the most important thing for Africans, including here in the West, like I do go sometimes to conferences of African states trying to woo investors. But what they do generally is what? They say, oh, we've got gold, we've got diamond, we've got natural resources. Please come do business with us. But that is not a story. That is already known, because that's what Western countries have been doing for centuries. So they already know where these things are. So by coming and say, I've got more, come take it, they don't need you. They didn't need any the opinion of any African to come and colonize. They didn't need the opinion of any people in Africa to come and take what they took. So the way to do this is by telling your own story. Forget about this cheap way of doing marketing. Is to tell people that we are solid, we're rooted. We don't just have things that we can come and take, we have things that you can't take. That's where independence starts. If you show me something that I can't take, what would I do even if I wanted it? I can only show respect. To ask for you to give me part of that, to share. And that unique thing is culture. Culture that is rooted in our history, that is rooted in our stories. And that's how you start to exist. So when you see me wearing, for example, this, or you wearing that design, somebody see this, well, they say, okay, this is an African, typical African design. I don't need to tell people. They can say, oh, where is that from? Who drew that? Where did it come from? And how did they come up with this idea? Now I'm telling them my story. I'm telling a story, which they cannot take away from me, and from which they can start to see that there is something I can offer. But we don't do that. When you go to fashion shows, you'll see that most of the big names that we have in the West have a huge number of their material coming from Africa. How do they do that? Because they know the value of these things. They take that story, they reshape it, they make it their own. But what are we doing? Instead of coming to tell that story ourselves, we're coming to retell them what they already know. So that's how people respect what you can bring on the table, what is different. Although people say that differences can cause clashes, it depends on how you bring it. I'm not saying that you should bring it and impose it on other people, but just show them that you got something they don't have. And now this will raise their curiosity, and they will come for that. People will come for something you have, or they will be, they can be repulsive, don't get me wrong. Not everybody will like what you're showing. But at least they will know that you have something they don't have. They might like it, they might not like it, but that's not the point. The point is, have you got something to show? And all you have to show is your story, which is unique. Whether we're talking about communities or individuals, forget about countries, because for me, I don't believe in countries, but I believe in individuals. I believe in people, because countries are constructions. So you as a people, you have a story that is different from another people. You as an individual, you have a story that is different from another individual. And it doesn't matter if the person is very highly educated or not. That is not important. Well, one of the key...
something to say,
yes,
you say it.
You say it because it's your unique story. Like, we might be black, both of us, you and I, but your story will always be something different from mine. You have a history that we share, but our history would be different at certain point. Although we may be black, I might be from Africa, your ancestor might be from Africa, but you grew up somewhere else, you travel somewhere else, and that's why I use these artifacts that we have in Western museums, African artifacts. As I say, if you go in every major city in the world, Western world, I mean, you will find that there's a fair number of African artifacts that have been taken, mostly stolen. Although people argue that they bought this, but that is a different story. So I've written a series of stories on some of these artifacts to tell their journey. So to tell their story. So what happened to them? What do they mean? What story are they telling? What did the people who made these objects intend with these objects?
Okay.
And now, what is their future? Now, that is the question that the stories that I write about this artifact is supposed to raise for all of us to answer. Because it is a moral duty for all of us. If we see injustice, if we see misappropriation happening around us, we can keep silence. That will make us accomplices of theft, or we can say something. Absolutely. Silence sometimes can speak louder than words. But what I'm saying is, it's just a technique. We can speak by keeping silence, but you have to give a meaning to your own attitude when faced with injustice, when faced with unfairness. You have to give a meaning to your own attitude. Indifference is not an option, because what happens to somebody, a victim today, could be you tomorrow.
Mama,